Like, the party starts when the party starts. The time they say, get your ass there. Hey, you guys. Thank you for joining me for another great episode. I think I got something great for you guys. As always, please remember, like, subscribe, comment, notification bell if you're on YouTube. Let me know you're out there. It really helps the algorithm, helps grow the podcast. We've been attracting new subscribers on YouTube, and I think on the audio podcast form as well. So I appreciate you guys taking the effort. Please keep it up. It will be nice. Thanks. Hey, everybody. What's going on? Welcome to episode 167. A really interesting episode, pretty long. Again, the second part of the body language dating shit that I was doing before. Also, I have some top flight Japanese, drinking party etiquette manners to share with you. Some really inside shit that I don't think you're going to get anywhere else on the fucking internet. I think you're really going to love it. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to going back and listening to this shit again. And what else? And a few other things sprinkled in, but mainly those two things: video stuff, body language stuff, taking somebody home. Taking it to the house and a whole bunch of other stuff. So, all right, I'm just whatever. Enjoy. Yo, everybody, what is going on? What is going on? I got a Heartland beer, as you can see on YouTube. I just decided to just buy like one big beer instead of going through the motions of looking for like opening and closing and stuff like that. Also, because another reason is because it's getting hot. It's fucking summertime. So this time I'm gonna try to experiment with the audio. I have the air conditioner on. I should turn this shit down a little bit more, a little bit lower. I have the air conditioner on, so YouTube people, I'm gonna, I just caved and I'm gonna do or some audio editing. So ideally, hopefully, you won't be able to hear the audio that bad, or the air conditioner audio that bad. I just listened to the last episode and I wasn't really happy with the amount of background noise. You can see I'm kind of closer this time than I was before. Last time the camera was a bit farther away. I just didn't like the way it sounded, continue. You can hear everything going on, the ambient noise, if you will. So I'm going to try and get it better, and we'll see what happens. I checked out some YouTube tutorials. I kind of think I know what the fuck I'm doing. So we'll see what happens. But, for people on the audio form, nothing's going to change. Although this is another episode where you might want to check out YouTube, because again, I'm going to put some screenshots. I'm really going to only do one video that I'm going to focus on. Of course, I got a tablet full of notes. I'm only going to do one YouTube video, but I might try that. Well, I don't know. We'll see. Whatever the fuck. I'll figure it out. But definitely just one video, the main video that I've been hyping it up. It's really not that serious, but I think it's really informative for you guys that I want you to take a look at. If you enjoyed the last episode, you're gonna definitely enjoy this one. So, this is like a half-liter beer, but it's not that much beer, and I'm starting late. I only bought one, so I gotta kind of get into it, because it's damn near 1 o'clock in the morning already. Today is my day off. Well, this is gonna come out late. I know, because you can see in my arm, I still have like the acupuncture kind of pins in myself from like Monday. I went to the acupuncturist again, and I still have them all over my back and shit. Just again, my shoulder and just general, rejuvenation. And yeah, feel a lot better. But the thing is, when you go, if you have never been, I had never really experienced this except for a couple of last month. When you go to the acupuncturist, you're supposed to kind of rest for a day or two. And like I was telling him, like, dude, I'm going straight to Costco, man. Like he was like, what the fuck are you doing? but I was pretty busy ripping and running with work and stuff. So like I told you guys before, like I try to record on Tuesdays, but I was just really like, my body was just like, ugh. So I just took that night, Tuesday night, rested. Wednesday I worked late, and so today is Thursday. I work, but tomorrow I'm off because the Olympics are starting tomorrow. I didn't think we'd get here, but you know, with all the shit that happened over the past year or so. But let me see. I'm a little bit uncomfortable with this mic. Let me try to adjust this mic stand up a little bit more so that I can kind of, you know, hold on. Let me. All right, that might be a little bit better. Yeah, that feels a little better. So that I'm not like, you know, hunched over the mic, but So yeah, I mean, the fucking Olympics are finally fucking here. There's just so much drama, so much chaos going on with it. I'm not really gonna get into it. I mean, pillow, a little bit of back support. Okay, that helps from leaning forward. I'm just not going to get into it because there's just so much stuff. There's so much news. You know, there's always like the Olympic controversy that goes on and shit like that. And I'm just, you know, I mean, they're here. I think I've told you, I'm pretty much over it. You know, they're not going to have any crowds, any fans. So I've expressed my opinion on watching the Olympics on Japanese TV. I don't know. I might find other ways to watch it. I'm not sure how much I'll be into it, you know. But yeah, you know, whatever it is, what it is. I hope everything, you know, now that we're here, I don't wish any harm on anyone. I hope everything goes smoothly as possible. I hope wish the best health to all the athletes and staff and volunteers and people participating. And yeah, we'll see what the fuck happens. But you know, it's on the news. You know, it's reaching international news and everything like that. I'm pretty sure if you're watching, it's kind of hit the major headlines, and it'll probably be in the news. As well as the heat, which I've talked about. The next couple of days aren't going to be too crazy, but we'll see what the weather is looking like for next week, because now we're just starting to hit like the main part of summer. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll just see what happens. But you know, I'm not really going to get into Olympic stuff. I've covered that quite a bit in the past, giving my 2 cents on it. And you know, hey, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Like, whatever. I'm drinking a beer. But whatever, let's get into, I got some good shit for you guys. Okay, so the theme of today, you know, it's kind of body language part 2. And really, you know, we're going a little bit deeper into what we were talking about. What the fuck was I doing last week? Oh yeah, the Nomikai thing, right? So before I was talking about the Nomikai video, and I reviewed that kind of group date situation. And this episode is another video, which is my original inspiration for this kind of mini series or whatever you want to call it. But you know, my image for it is really thinking, okay, let's say, you know, you want to bring it on. You want to bring it on home, right? And literally that's what it means. Like, you know, omochikairi means like taking someone home. It also means takeout. It means takeout, literally food takeout, but it also can mean like, you know, taking someone home. This is bad Japanese. Don't really use this, okay? I'm just warning you. Like, a lot of the shit that you're gonna hear and see in this video, I mean, it's nothing graphic, but just don't run around thinking you're cool trying to use this stuff. You know, again, I'll guide you through what I want you to take away from this episode, and my advice is strictly adhere to that. Because if you veer off, you hear some shit that you think sounds cool, you look some shit up, more than likely you'll use it the wrong fucking way and you won't get the desired result you're asking for. With that said, don't think that like you'll do XYZ and Dr. Love's formula will get you, you know, blah, 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 blah. I'm not guaranteeing any of this shit. I'm just trying to give you some game, some shit that, you know, I clearly remember not knowing about until several years in Japan, you know, interacting with women, dating women, meeting my wife, going on dates, doing a lot of other shit. And so, I'm just trying to put you on to some shit that when you do come to Japan and you do start dating, you'll be able to pick up on a lot quicker. And, ideally, if you do find a woman that you do like and you want to kind of pursue a relationship with her, you'll kind of know, what's going on. Because I think I fucked up a lot of shit. I can tell you guys some stories about how I fucked up when I first got here, but we're not going to go down that road tonight. Okay, let me move my beer away from the PC. Okay. All right. So first off though, we're gonna start again. I got plenty of links. I mean, not as many as last time, but I got a good variety of links. Actually, on my commute into Tokyo today, I was like, fuck, I don't really have any links. So I just searched around, found a few things, a pretty interesting variety that I think you'll be into. But the first link we're gonna go into all Japanese territory here a bit, right? The first link I have is a Japanese link, and what it is, it's Nomikai Manners, but this is mainly for business, right? And this is a Japanese article I found in one of my lessons, looking up stuff to talk about with one of my students, I think about a week ago or something like that. And when we started going through it and talking about it back, I was like, oh, these are actually some really important tips, some really high level Nomikai drinking party tips that I think I can share with you guys. So I just saved the link, and I'm not going to go through everything. It's all Japanese. Like, I don't recommend going through translation software with it. Because it's pretty, in-depth stuff. But the article, but I'll just put it in there in case you do have a Japanese friend or, someone you want to show it to, a Japanese teacher or whatever you want to show it to, and talk back and forth about it. This is for business. This is for business nomikai, a business drinking party. But I'm going to cherry pick a few gems that you can use for if you're on a date or with friends, or at just like, well, not only with business people. There's a few of these that I think are some manners that are of course, if you have decent level Japanese nomikai drinking party, dinner party manners, adding these as cherry on tops will kind of really have you be seen in a positive light with Japanese people. So here we go. The first one, most important. This is so fundamental. Like, it sounds so simple, but I didn't know it, and I think a lot of foreign people don't know it. It's keep the time. Like, be on fucking time. Like it's a job interview, and when you're in Japan, the longer you're in Japan, you'll understand how important punctuality is in this country. And I can't understate this. And you might think you're punctual, but you're not punctual. Like, you're not punctual like how Japanese punctual is, more than likely. When I say, like, if the party starts at 8 o'clock, you better be there at 8 o'clock or 7:45 or something like that. There's no such thing as fashionably late here. Like, the party starts when the party starts. The time they say, get your ass there. Get a fucking, maybe 5-10 minutes late is acceptable, but if you're with older people, you should be on time. If not, like 5 minutes early, just try to be 5 or 10 minutes early. Plan that, like, for a date especially. Like, a date especially, you need to be on time, right? Japanese people are just punctual. It's just a punctual society. That's just the way things go. If you're not a punctual person, get your shit together. Again, train apps really help because, especially if you're in and around a major city like Tokyo, the train schedule is fairly predictable. So you can literally, now we have like Google, we have other shit. You can literally plan your route from your fucking sofa to to where your ass needs to be, and to the minute, when you need to leave, what train or bus you need to catch, and what not. If you're running late a little bit, like, even the second you're aware, like literally the second I'm aware if I'm going to be a few minutes late or possibly be a few minutes late, I message that person and let them know, hey, like, when I went to the sushi place, I think with my my friend, I think I talked about in the last episode, like, where was it? I was in Shinjuku Station and I got turned around in Shinjuku Station. So the whole time I'm messaging my friend, like I'm inside Shinjuku Station, but Shinjuku Station is massive. Like I think the biggest train station in the world, or the busiest train station in the world, I believe. And it's fucking massive. It's just a pain in the ass every time you go there. The train line I went to was on the other side of the station. I had to go on the other side of the station, and it's a different train company and all this shit. And so, like, you know, I thought I gave myself enough time to find the correct exit, but I didn't. And so the whole time I'm like, okay, I'm walking over there. Like, fuck, I'll be there soon. Oh shit, I'm almost there. Like, oh wait, no, sorry, I'm not. You know what? Don't even worry about it, because, you know, once it got close to the time, he's like, okay, I'm here where we're supposed to meet. But I'm like, oh shit, well, you know what? I'm going to be a few minutes late. I got the address. Just go to the place first. I'll meet you there. You know, because I knew, like, yeah, I could ask him to wait for me and we walk over there together, but he has, again, Japan's a very punctual country, so he has a reservation. We need to be punctual for that reservation. So you go first. You be punctual there. I'll be there like 5 or 10 minutes after you get there, and then I'll find the place, you know. And that's what happened. It was no problem. But in the West, you know, just hold on, I'm almost there. I know, like, I'll be there soon. Just wait for me and shit like that. And then it just doesn't work. And you're pissing off the Japanese people. You're pissing off the people who work at the establishment. Like, all that shit. Shit works like clockwork. So, you know, just be fucking on time. Like, and if you're not on time, like a job interview, let them know, like, as soon as fucking possible. I'm serious. It's a complete different ball. I've been in the room where I'm the foreign person who's on time, and there's another foreign person, and everyone's sitting there because they're waiting for that person to start, and they're just, you know, because the person's not there yet. So you can't, it's rude if they start the meal without that other person, and they're looking around looking at me, and I'm just like, fuck, I'll try to line message the motherfucker. I don't know what they're doing, like, you know. And I'm just like, shit, man. Just don't be that person, okay? All right, next up, cheers lower than the other person. Yeah, this is a small little nuanced thing, right? I was thinking about it before, and I was talking with my student about it too. In Japan, it's always better to be humble. You know, you stand out much more in a positive light the more humble you are. And when you toast, when you cheers glasses with someone, right? It's something that you probably don't even think about. It doesn't even register on your radar at all. But it's a gem. No, you cheers, hey, whatever. But excuse me, Japan is a very subtle country. So, I mean, don't like calculate or anything like that, but just be aware. I think I naturally do it anyway. But when you toast and you cheers with someone's glass, touch glasses with someone, tilt your glass lower than the other person's glass, right? It's just kind of like you're humbling yourself in front of the other person. And now you might be like, I ain't humbling myself to shit. If you might be that type of person, but generally speaking, like, you know, think about it like this. Humbling yourself first with or without being asked to is like being the bigger person. That's I think a really easy way to think about it. You're being the bigger person by humbling yourself, you know, willingly, right? By you're not being submissive, you're not being a weakling. You're showing yourself as being the bigger person because you have no ego. So if you're willing to humble yourself around people you just met, you know, that says a lot about you and a lot about your personality. If you're on a date with a partner as well, being seen as a nice guy, a nice person is a very important thing. It's completely different than it is in the West, you know, generally speaking. Of course, it depends on where you're going. But I say even if you go into like a nightclub and, you know, you're trying to get it in, lowering your glass, even if it's, I'm trying to be nice, but, you know, even if it might be someone who you might find is for the streets, you know what I'm saying? Like, still, if you're toasting, lowering your glass to that, you know, fine looking female when you toast is a good habit to have, I would say. You know, it's on a subconscious level. Some people pick it up, especially older people pick it up, but generally speaking, it's just people feel, you might not feel it, but Japanese people feel that energy. Next, Oh yeah, first drink. This was talking about first drinks. But make sure you order, even if you don't, if you're not a strong drinker. This says like, make sure you order alcohol for your first drink. I'm gonna change that recommendation though to this. If you are able to drink beer, some people can't drink beer, but I would say generally speaking, like if you're a drinker and you drink beer, Japanese people mix alcohol quite a bit. And I know in the West, people have like, I got my drink, I like Jack and Coke, I'm drinking that shit all night, I'm drinking blah blah blah, whatever the fuck you drink all night. But generally speaking, it's good etiquette, good protocol to make your first drink beer in Japan. Like, even if you're not a big fan of beer, even like whatever the fuck, order a fucking beer and drink it. Then after that, you can order whatever the fuck else you want. But your first drink should be a beer, right? Like, now, I've been in very sophisticated events where they don't drink beer. And eventually they caught onto the fact that I do drink beer, and they specifically bought beer for me. Like, and I was actually, because this is like high level drinking party type shit. They're drinking. I'm drinking with millionaires, basically. Or people who run multi-million-dollar organizations. And, depending on the personality of the person, depending on a lot of different factors, these people were a little bit trendier, a little bit into stuff. But their first drink, like, they knew, like, okay, Akil, eventually, like, Akil likes beer. Hey, you want beer for the first drink? Oh, sure. And then I shifted over to whatever they were going on. But that's like a extremely rare situation. 95% of the time, more than that, 98, 99, 98% of the time I've been at drinking parties, the socially acceptable first drink is beer. That's just, on a date as well. Even if you're dating with a woman too, having a beer is going to be the good call. Don't go for like the exotic, whatever the fuck you want. That's like the standard icebreaker fucking drink. Just order the beer and drink it. Don't complain about shit. Don't go searching on the menu. Just get a draft beer. Get a small one. Drink it if you drink it, and do that. Trust me, okay? Just fucking trust me. All right. Next. This is another one. Okay. Fuck, I got this beer in my hand. Okay, I'm gonna try not to spill shit all over. I think I've talked about pouring drinks for other people, making sure another person's glass isn't empty. I've talked about this in previous episodes. I can't remember exactly where, but it's a very important thing. Now, another tip, a pro tip for this. Of course, if you got a beer, I gotta be careful because I've been, like, pouring it like this, if you can see with one hand, might be the convenient way for you to do it. Don't do that shit, okay? Don't do that. Okay. It's not rude, but it's just a little bit uncouth. That's the best word. It's not even the best word. I feel like it's just like some random shit I pulled out the back of my head. But it's not. It's not as sophisticated, I'd say. Generally speaking, what you're gonna want to do, again, people on audio, sorry, you might want to check YouTube for this. You're gonna want to hold, like, cradle this fucking beer and pour it, like, if you can watch, and pour it like this. I mean, of course, I got the microphone in the way, but generally speaking, like, pour like this. You might want to practice, whatever. Pour with two hands is the most important thing, right? Again, the way you care, little thing in Japan, the way you do small things is representative of the way you do large things. So if you're just like, here, I'm gonna drink some beer, whatever, and you're just pouring this shit all over the fucking place, it shows that you don't, you're not a detail-oriented person, and you don't give a fuck about small things. The impression, it could spill, it could overflow, things like that. This is a very, you're in control of the beer, or the drink, or the wine, or whatever the fuck. But especially in my mind, beer. Like, you're pouring it like in a way that's very measured, that's very precise, that's very careful. Again, attention to detail, not out of control, not sloppy, which is a very important thing in Japanese society. So, again, I'm really hyper overanalyzing this, but the way you're pouring is you're putting, your care. If you think about it, you're putting your care into the other person's glass. It's kind of what you're doing, right? Basically, essentially, you're putting your care, your emotion, into the other person's glass. So if you're putting your emotion into the glass in a very haphazard kind of way, it shows that you don't really care too deeply about the other person. But if you're, clearly, respectfully, kindly, softly, gently, pouring into the other person's glass, is representative of the feelings that you have for that person and the way you would take care of the person, the way you'll make love to that person. No, I'm fucking around, but but it could be true as well. So you want to do things in a graceful kind of manner, whether it's someone older than you, whether it's a girl you're on a date with, whatever. That's just a good kind of rule of thumb to have, right? Japanese people pick up on that, trust me. Another thing. I was talking about this with my student, and as soon as because the kanji was a little bit tough for me, so it didn't register with me until after he said it, and then I looked, oh, okay, that makes sense. And as soon as I was like, yeah, this is another really, really important thing. It's so small, it's so, you might not even, I didn't even realize that I do it, and I was thinking maybe it might be sometimes where I haven't done it, where I felt kind of bad about it, and I have to make sure I do it every time. When someone pours, okay, someone's pouring a drink for you, right? And of course, generally, it's good. Don't just fucking leave. If someone's like, hey, you want something to drink? Don't just hey, go ahead, and leave your fucking glass on the table. Pick it up and hold it so that the person can pour it for you. That's the proper way to do it, right? If you're not looking and someone just pours your drink, fine, that's fine. It can just stay on the table. But if you see someone, openly attempting to pour a drink for you, pick up your glass and hold it, up to the person so that they can pour it for you. That's the fucking way you do shit here, right? And I know it seems very tedious and things like that, but these are all kind of, again, it's a delicate dance, right? It's like this fucking tango where it's backing it up on the chick in the party, or a chick backing it up on you in a party. What am I talking about? You backing it up on chick. Okay. A chick backing it up on you in a party, or salsa, or whatever the fuck dance you know how to do. There are certain moves, there are certain tells, there's a certain cadence to the way things happen, right? It's a certain back and forth. And if you break that, or that expected pattern, it's a very clear kind of tell that you don't know what the fuck you're doing, right? And so this is another one of those things that kind of lets Japanese people know, oh, this person's foreign, but hey, they know what's up. If you combine that with, for example, Japanese skill, or, combine that with a kind demeanor, being dressed, presented appropriately for the situation, these are the different levels of Japanese that give you access to different levels of Japanese society. I'm giving you fucking game right here. You don't even know, man. And this is how, but this is thing, it's not like, yo ho ho, I'm holding the glass, hook me up with a job. It's not like that. But, without being told that, without being overtly told, hey, you pass the test, you go to level 2 of Japanese society. These type of, understanding of this type of etiquette allows you access to the next gate, to the next level of Japanese society, and you won't even know it. They'll just say, hey, you want to do XYZ, or hey, come on to this. Because again, watching you in regular situations, Japanese people feel comfortable introducing you to other types of situations, because again, they know, oh, this person's not going to embarrass me in this type of situation. So they know what the fuck they're doing, so again, on a date as well, this is the main theme of this is on a date. Let me see how much time, because I'm going deep into this shit. Damn, almost half an hour into this shit. Okay, I'm going deep, but it's good. Again, this is all shit that I really wish someone would have told me before I came here. So fucking give me a like, man. Come on. Okay. But yeah, So yeah, again, holding the glass up when someone pours for you, and after it's poured, drink before putting the glass on the table. Even if you take a fucking sip, thank the person, thank you, even a nod, smile, take a sip, take a fucking sip, and then you can put it down. That's kind of an acknowledgement of, what the person's doing for you. You know, again, being humble, like, accepting, itadakimasu. If you study Japanese, itadakimasu, like, is kind of, I don't even know how to translate itadakimasu into English. It's like a humble form of accepting something, right? So, if you kind of acknowledge and accept something that someone has given you humbly, just after they give it to you, then you can put it to the side. But if you're like, oh, hey, thanks, whatever, and then you just put it down, again, that person generally, more than likely, is going to, even if they do it in a rough way, like, hey, depending on their social level, social position, if they do it in a very rough way, they're at a higher level position, so they have that right, and you're in a lower level position. So, your job is to humbly accept what that person is giving you, and that kind of shows your respect to a person of a higher level. Again, being humble is always a good thing here. So, you get that drink it, sip it, whatever the fuck, and then put it down. Don't just like, oh, thanks, and then put it down for later. I'm eating my fucking noodles or whatever the fuck you're doing. Like, just acknowledge what's being done for you, right? Is kind of what it is. And the last one of this, which is, again, these are all on a date as well. Like, you'll be surprised, like how much, if a woman pours something for you and you just smile, thank you, take a sip, or, pour for her. Again, cheers, lower your glass in hers, take a sip. Those kind of small things really endear yourself. Oh wow, he's really nice, yasashi, kind of. You might even hear yasashi, which is kind of like, you're so kind, you're so, nice, kind of stuff. Like, it's just really important, right? It might seem in the Western eyes like, oh, you're like a sucker, you're soft, like whatever. But in Japan, it's completely different culture, completely different value system. The article said the next day, send a thank you message. For me personally, this is an important thing I had to learn too. You have a great time with someone, or date or whatever, hanging out with friends. Don't send a thank you message the day after. Send a thank you message. I'm a fan of sending a thank you message 10 minutes after you leave. 5 minutes when you're on the train. Normally, like, if you're on the train, for me, on the train, if I leave someone, when I'm on the train on my way back, I say, thank you for a great night. I had so much fun, blah, 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 blah. Let's do it again. That's kind of good manners. That's good etiquette. On your way back, the food, it might seem kind of, I just said goodbye to, but it's just etiquette, right? Like, again, for me, 10, 15 minutes after we've said goodbye, generally I whip out my phone and say, that was fun. Even with my foreign friends now, it's just a natural kind of thing, like, to kind of put a cap on the night. I'm not quite sure if that's done in the West nowadays, just because, again, I lived in America before texting was a thing. They had two-way pages when I was in America. Motorola two-way page me, was a rap lyric. So I don't really know what the etiquette for texting is in the West right now. Like, as you can clearly see. So I don't know if that's how people do things nowadays. But for me in Japan, like, that's a big thing. So, okay. So that's that. Like, take that to the house. Again, use it, internalize it, and check it out, and then see what happens. Let me know what you think about that. Okay. I'm gonna kind of power through the rest of this shit, because I'm kind of running low on beer, and I'm kind of scared that I'm gonna, be talking about this next part sober. Or I'm not drunk, but you know what I'm saying. Okay. So what we have, this next video is, what this is like. It's a lot going on in this video, and this is an all Japanese video as well. But the main thing is what it is. I forgot the Japanese title is really long. I'm not gonna look at it and translate it, but basically what it is they set up a hidden camera in an izakaya, again, a Japanese style pub, in like a private kind of room, and of couples. Like they highlighted two couples. They did some other shit later on in the video, which is not important. The main thing is just these two couples. They basically, the guy was taking the girl home in both situations, right? And so they got permission to they secretly filmed them and got permission afterwards to show the video, but you can really see when it's going down, right? When he's getting the draws, okay, in Japan is kind of what I wanted to show. And not for what the guy is saying or doing, but more importantly, again, for me, I didn't know the body language that really goes on, you know, in this type of situation. Like, and for this, again, this is not like, for me personally, not like a first date kind of thing that you're gonna do. This is like, I heard somewhere there's a 3-date rule in Japan. I'm not quite sure if that's the case, you know. Well, I'm not gonna get into why, but again, my memory is so long ago that I was kind of, you know, out here wilding out in these streets that I can't remember the count of dates, you know, but generally I'd say a 3-date rule is kind of what I've heard somewhere, maybe online possibly. And I would just generally, just my impression, I can kind of vouch for that. And the main thing I want you to understand is before that 3rd date, in which I had to learn too, like, you might feel like you're getting absolutely nowhere. Like, you know, there might be no overt signs that you're making any inroads with like the girl that you might like or the person of interest, but it's kind of building up to, you know, that feeling out process. And then probably around the 3rd, maybe even 4th date, I don't know, whatever, let's say 3rd date, let's just keep it simple, let's say 3rd date would be the place where I would kind of start to make a move, probably, you know, overt moves, right? You kind of felt each other out, you're kind of comfortable hanging out and whatnot. And you can kind of see, because, you know, I remember one of the first like dates I went on. I was doing stuff like a Western way. I'm like, oh, come on, what's up, girl? Like, you know, I'm like, that doesn't work here, right? And she's like, well, what my gosh, I'm like, nah, I'm getting frustrated. I'm like, what are you doing? We're alone, especially in like this type of situation, like a izakaya room alone, right? A private room izakaya where you can have some intimacy. I'm like, oh, the door closes, you know. But you know, I was like a 22-year-old like dude fresh off the plane, like I ain't know nothing. But that's not the way to go about things, and I'm trying to save you from that, you know, shit. Okay. So yeah, you can skip forward, like pretty much like, again, it's a YouTube show, a few celebrities. The one in the pink or light purplish pink is had a sex change operation. She was like a famous, I think about 10 years ago, she was really famous. Haluna Ai was her name. Yeah, transsexual, that's the word. And you know, I mean, just to let you know, if you remember, like, oh, I'm just letting you know. But anyway, that's not the main thing. So the main part I want to know is 2 videos. I'm gonna break these down again, give my little 2 cents on it, and then move on. It's 2 of these. So the first one, it starts at 1 minute and 55 seconds, and this couple. Now this couple is an interesting situation because it's a older woman, I think she's about 30 something, and a younger guy who's very timid. You know, he's kind of Soushokuke, which is Nikashokuke, which is carnivorous woman, and Soushokuke, which is kind of like a herbivorous. This kind of is a long urban slang kind of thing, trendy words. Basically, you know, he's a weak ass dude, and she's, you know, a man eater, pretty much. Not saying she's like a freak. You know, not saying she's a freak in general, but she's an assertive woman is what I'd say. Maybe on the, not cougar, because she's like, you know, whatever. But okay, whatever. Anyway. Yeah, so her body language is really assertive, and that's kind of not what you would really see. Again, because he's so timid, just on game, you know, if you have any game, you know, like, he's not as so much confident probably maybe not as experienced with women, or women handling women like that is what I saw. So, he needs some assurances, like, sorry, this is all in Japanese, no English subtitles at all, but so don't so much, if you can't really understand the Japanese, don't worry so much about it. I'll just explain what's going on. Like, yeah, she wants to take him home, and she's like, yo, let's go, and look at him, come look. I think she has a cat, and I think she said she has a cat, and he's like, hey, you want to go see my cat in my I mean, not like you want to see my pussy, but she didn't say it like that, but she probably literally had a cat, and you want to come over, and he's like, oh, come over, because it was kind of late. Again, I think I've talked about hanging out close to Last Train, and so they're in a private izakaya place. And the cool thing about this video as well is that they have a hidden camera under the table as well as above the table, so you can see what's going on under the kind of like kotatsu type table. Is really, really important, I think. And so, she's kind of like, yo, you coming over or what? And he's kind of like, go, geez Louise. Basically, he's kind of like, what's gonna happen? He wants to hear that, yeah, I'm definitely, because probably he's scared of rejection. Whatever, it's fine though. But my notes is, she's doing a whole lot in this video. Like, she's doing a whole lot for a Japanese woman. And this might not be so much for a Western woman, like a Western perspective or person coming over from West. But for a Japanese woman to so overtly show her interest in a guy, that's really a lot she's doing. I mean, she's not doing too much, in my opinion, but she's doing a lot. Like, and for me personally, one thing, my one recommendation, my one takeaway from this, which is what I would like for you to, she's a pretty assertive woman, very assertive woman for a Japanese woman, but look at, I'd say, the softer body language that she does, holding on his arm like here, or come snuggling up close to him, or if he goes in for a kiss, she kind of doesn't kiss him directly, she kind of hugs him or looks away, things like that. Those kind of things can be extremely frustrating if you don't understand Japanese women. I know me, in the beginning, I was like, yo, the fuck is happening right now? Like, and you need to kind of understand that, like, those like Western women might be a bit more open to those overt, direct, in moves, but in Japan, not so much. It's a lot really, really subtle, really, really indirect. Oh, we're here. Oh, let me, putting your knee against someone's knee is a big deal. Like that, they can feel you there. Japanese people, skinship is kind of what it's called. Like body touching is kind of something that people don't really get on a day-to-day basis. So any of those kind of things and interactions are, real tells of attraction in those type of situations, right? So, picking up on what I'm telling you, that I'm not necessarily for you to do these things, because this guy doesn't really do any moves. She does everything, but understanding, like, even if a girl likes you and you might not pick up on it, and she might be saying like, yo, let's do something. I mean, not like the way she is, but it could happen. Like if you're at a bar or something like that, you never know. Like you might pick up on someone doing those things. I mean, again, this is a lot of general information. I'm not saying everyone doing this is gonna want to take you home, or stuff will go home with you, but they might be tells that the person is liking you or flirting with you that you might not pick up on, generally speaking, if you're new to the country and don't really have that much experience interacting with Japanese women. So just be, like I said, I would prefer for you to focus on her softer gestures. Her, like, I'm talking soft. Like, look at, where she puts her hands. Look at, like, where she grabs him. Look at her knee. Look at, like those kind of things. Like, those are big things. Like, Japanese people generally are not so close to each other in everyday situations. So definitely check that out. Of course, I'll put a screenshot of what the fuck I'm talking about for YouTube people, but I'm not gonna really put a video on all that shit because whatever. Next is the next one. The next one starts at 4 minutes and 45 seconds, and this one, I'll just read through my notes. Okay, this dude, he's a bad guy. He's a terrible player. Why? Because she is kind of gullible. She might even want to be lying to herself and be deceived by a guy like this. She might want to be loved by a guy. You never know. But, even the hosts are just like, oh shit, no, run away. He's the fucking, cause he's a sleazeball to me, because like the shit that he's saying to her, yeah, it's pretty bad. Like, and me personally, I never played the game like this. I learned, like, you don't play the game like that. Like, one of the things, like, I think my uncles taught me as a teenager, like, yo, don't tell a girl you love her if you don't mean it. Like, cause it'll drive her fucking crazy, and you'll see like the bad side of her. It's like, that's kind of the one thing I kind of walked away with. I think even at like 13, 14 years old, like, yo, don't be telling these girls you love them. Like, cause that's something that hits. And he's telling her, yo, I love you. Like, let's be together forever. Let's go somewhere. I'll be with you. And he's saying all this shit, like, of course, like saying like kawaii or you're cute, whispering in a girl's ear, things like that. Like, again, this is kind of third date kind of stuff, but he's just going all in trying to bring it home. And she doesn't really seem like the kind of girl, she seems like, regular, nice. She might even be like, DTF, I don't know, but she might, want to cut loose every now and then. She might know what it is, but just like say, fuck it. I don't know. But generally speaking, she's not really like a party girl, is kind of what I'm trying to say. And so it was, I don't think he needed to do all that, but it seems like, he just, those are the buttons he just learned to push just to try and get what he wants to get out of women. And so it kind of made me a little bit uncomfortable watching it as well. But he's a bit more assertive guy in the situation. And so, again, my recommendation is, she looks like, on the surface, she might look like she's a bit of a tease. I've been around women who do this body language. She clearly likes him. She's clearly having fun. She's clearly giggling, whatever. But, she's just shy. That's the thing. Or she's either shy or pretending to be shy or playing shy or whatever. But, she wants to feel comfortable around him is more than just teasing him or leading him on. And as you can see, he's pretty successful. But I mean, he really lays it on thick, but if you really watch both of these videos, you can kind of feel the first video. I think you feel her. She clearly kind of goes at him, and then later on, she kind of plays coy. When he becomes a bit assertive, she plays coy. Of course, she's like, yo, come on, but that's the role she's playing, just maybe because she doesn't want him to think that she's like, loose like that. This is what I'm guessing, but she's like, like, yo, what's up? But the second one, you can see, like, either on purpose or naturally, she is really coy in the beginning, and slowly you can feel her kind of open up and loosen up in very subtle kind of ways. Her voice, what footsies under the table, where, like, I think the first one, when she put her hands like right on his crotch, basically in his inner thigh, that's something that I don't think I'll be shocked if you get a Japanese woman to do that. But if a Japanese woman does that to you, but the second woman, just holding hands a little bit, putting like those kind of the small details of the situation are really speak the loudest. And those are kind of things that I would say I want you to take away from these two videos. Again, if you're on the third date, this is not something like 5 minutes after you meet a girl, I want you like touching on her and doing shit like that, but if you've been hanging out with a girl for a little while and you're kind of a little bit bamboozled on how to kind of escalate things to the next level, you like her, you think she likes you, you want to find out, these are kind of the situations. Go to an izakaya, private room, close to last train. For me personally, don't have dinner at fucking 8 o'clock. Like, don't do that. Have dinner at like 10. Have dinner like 9:30, 10 o'clock. Meet her at 9:30. 9:30 is kind of iffy. 10 o'clock is better, right? Because why 10 o'clock? Because dinner takes about an hour, hour and a half. Then it's like 11, 11:30, right? At that point, last train is coming, and then, oh, I missed my last train. Oh, what are we going to do after that? Hey, let's keep hanging out. I'm having so much fun hanging out with you. Blah, 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 blah. Right? And then you should be, as a grown ass man, you should be able to take it from there. But generally speaking, like, if you say you want to meet somewhere near her area or meet her somewhere near your area at about 10 o'clock, she should probably she knows what's going on, and you should as well, right? So, if she asks what time you want to meet after a few dates, hit her with the 10 o'clock and see what happens. On a Friday, hit her with the 10, and that should kind of set things up for you. And then, some of these gentle, subtle moves, not in the beginning. Wait, again, use some of my advice. My advice, again, this is not like a formula for success, but use some of make sure you're being well mannered, using some of the manners that I talked about from the beginning, showing that you're a nice person, you have manners, make the person feel comfortable. Then as the drinks start flowing, alcohol is a social lubricant here. After I'd say 2 or 3 drinks, do a couple body language kind of things, do a couple skinship kind of things, see what happens, feel the atmosphere, and then you should be able to hang out after that. I don't know. That's the best I got for you guys, okay? But again, like, I was not up on a lot of these tells, a lot of these body language things before I came here. So the last thing I got for you, there's a bunch of other links in here. Some of them are a bit more serious, some about the Olympics. I threw in a few countryside things. One about being black in Tokyo for a few people. It's a bit heavier than I just skipped through it, but I'm not gonna talk about it in detail. Maybe you're kind of aware about my stance about being black in Japan, but just to hear another perspective of people, I threw that in there. The nightlife guide in the Tokyo nightlife guide by some dude, I forgot his name. This is actually a really good mix of places. R2, the one place he talked about, is actually a place I haven't been to. Like, Jeff and Will have been there several times. Like, they talk about going there. I'd been off the scene since it became a spot, and I just haven't been there. One time, I'd like to go there, just after all this whole situation is over. But he gave a mix of some places that I haven't been, a few places that I would recommend. Ageha, he talked about. Again, I'm not going to Ageha. My Ageha days, I think, are the window for Ageha, I've said it before, has closed for me. Again, I didn't go there in my 20s when I could party till fucking 7 o'clock in the morning. It's just such a far trip. Like, I was saving it for like people coming over to Japan. No one really came over who would want to go there, it's just there are other places to go. I was just like, it just never came up, no reason to go all the way over there when you got all this other shit right here. And so yeah, like, I'm pushing 40 now. I ain't getting get on a shuttle bus, and I can't go. Get the fuck out of here. Like, but whatever. Like, you can kind of get a feel for the place. I think his interaction, he has got a camera, of course, but his brief interaction with some of the girls on the Ageha bus, I think was pretty tell of how to, like, kind of shit. And he knows how to milk it. But I think it's a good mix of places. So he seems like he kind of gets it, respects Japan. So take notes on some of those places, maybe look them up. They seem interesting, and some places I had not been to that I maybe heard about, knew about, but I think a mix of new places for me, chill mixes, not just the like run-of-the-mill type places as well. So check that out. And then a few other things as well. I'll just let you explore and see what's in the description. So, all right, we got about an hour. I think we're right at an hour. Yeah, we're 50 something minutes. So cool. I'm gonna end things there. Hopefully, this 2-part extravaganza has been helpful for you. I still got some beer left when I close up everything. So I'm gonna leave it right there. So yeah, all right. Let me know what you think, and I'll holler at you next time. Peace.